What's going on there, YouTube, and welcome back to another comic book video. Okay, guys, so we are basically going to begin our coverage over the Trial of X. Now, the Trial of X is kind of like the next era of X-Men comics after the Reign of X. Each era kind of ended with basically some kind of crossover. So like Dawn of X ended with X of Swords, Reign of X ended with the Hellfire Gala event. And we also now jump into the Trial of X. Now, the Trial of X does start off basically with Emma Frost. And this kind of shows us what the Trial of X is going to be all about. Because the Trial of X is kind of focusing on all the different kinds of secrets that each X-Men character is possibly holding in from the beginning of Dawn of X, House of X, Power of X, or even possibly even older comics from the 80s and 90s. Now, for Marauders number 22, it does focus on Emma Frost. And of course, it's a secret that she has been holding for a very long time that could technically affect Sebastian Shaw. Because Sebastian Shaw wants to bring a particular character back to life. Somebody that he claims he loves. And of course, the X-Men have not given him what he wants, that person to be brought back to life. Because remember, when it comes to the X-Men, the mutant race, they have found a way to bring people back to life. And it's thanks to the five mutants who are able to make you a clone body and download your memories into that clone body. The problem is, though, they have to make sure you're dead in real life before they do that process. And also, there's a long queue. And so, of course, it's Sebastian Shaw wondering why the X-Men has not taken his request and moved that particular person up the line so that she can come back to life. Because apparently, he loved that person a lot and he wants her back. But Emma Frost is holding a very dark secret about this particular person. And that's why I say the Trial of X is really more of what are the X-Men characters hiding from each other, but also hiding from the world. And with this book being post-Hellfire Gala event, the first page basically tells us what's going on in the world after that event right there that is going to affect future X-Men books down the road. Like, for example, in the Hellfire Gala event, you had the mutants basically show the world that they were able to take Mars and turn Mars into a living planet. Now, when they did that, of course, you had the entire world shocked by it. They're like, oh my God, y'all did not just basically turn Mars into a livable planet, meaning that humans and mutants can now live on Mars. Now, of course, a lot of companies' stock had basically dropped when that happened. One in particular, which is aerospace, because their goal was to basically go and travel from Earth to Mars and turn Mars into a planet that humans and mutants could live on. But when the mutant race basically did it first, of course, aerospace company stock just dropped because now their main goal has just been accomplished by a different group of people. Now, on top of that, you do have other countries beginning to kind of move away and saying like, hey, we allow COPPA to be a nation. So at first, you only had a few countries like Russia, I almost said Russia and Manipur. But now you have the United Kingdom, and possibly other countries down the road are going to move away and allowing COPPA to be a sovereign nation like Ireland. And so a lot of things had happened in the Hellfire Gala event. But the biggest part was the death of the Scarlet Witch. She died at the very end of that event right there. And we still have no idea how she died. But of course, that storyline right there will not be picked up in this book. It basically takes place in a different book. Now, we actually do pick up with Emma Frost. Now, this is Emma Frost basically right now taking in all the different news that she had basically been seeing that has come out of the Hellfire Gala event, which of course is a lot to take in because that party, that event was all her. Like, she planned the entire event. And so, of course, now it's all these big time news popping up left and right where you have some good news for the mutant race and some bad news for the mutant race. But basically, she does call up the Stepford Cuckoos. Now, The Stepford Cuckoos are right now on Mars, just partying, dancing, having a good old time. And it's Emma Frost saying, hey, ladies, can you come back home to Earth? Now, the Stepford Cuckoos are basically the clones of Emma Frost. But of course, she looks at them as like daughters. And so, of course, she does ask them to come back home. And of course, they do. But when they do come back home, they do run into a character known as, and I'm going to mispronounce her first name, which is Wilhelmina Kingston. I want to call her Kingston. Now, basically, Miss Kingston is part of a group called Verendi. Now, Verendi is an anti-mutant organization that has been going around trying to keep mutants out of Madripoor. I just said Madripoor. Oh my God, I just mispronounced Madripoor. Either way, though, you do have the Verendi group trying to keep the mutant race out of that particular country. Now, the problem is, though, in the Hellfire Gala event, you did have the Stepford Cuckoos try to help Kingston out because Miss Kingston was going through a lot of different things. And so they kind of sat her down to basically talk to her to see what she's actually going through. Now, of course, when they come back to Earth, they see her and it seems like she has some more issues. And so now it's a Stepford Cuckoos saying, okay, what's wrong with her now? Now, that is the moment where we actually do jump back over to Emma Frost, where we actually do see Emma Frost right now basically getting ready for a meeting with the Quiet Council. And remember, the Quiet Council is basically the group of mutants who kind of govern COPPA. They are the government of COPPA. Now, with that being said, you do have Emma Frost meeting up with Sebastian Shaw at this Quiet Council meeting. And of course, it's Sebastian Shaw and her having a good old conversation. Honestly, that right there is not important. What is important is when you have Charles Xavier walk in. Now, when he does walk in, he does talk to Emma Frost through their minds. And basically, it's Emma Frost finding out that Charles Xavier got word that Sebastian Shaw had basically put a request in for a particular person to be brought back to life. Because this person has not been brought back to life yet this entire time that the mutant race had COPPA. And so, of course, it's now Sebastian saying, hey, I want this person brought back to life. Hey, can you do it? And so this is Charles saying, Emma, he has asked about Loudris Chantel. And the thing is, there's a huge dark secret over Chantel. You need to tell Sebastian Shaw. So can you do it, or do I need to tell him? Because right now, Homeboy has been asking about her, and of course, he has no idea about the big secret about her. Now, getting back over to the Stepford Cuckoos, as they work with Miss Kingston, basically in the earlier books of Hellfire Gala event and other books of Marauders, you did have the Stepford Cuckoos try to help out Miss Kingston because they realized that she had a lot of anger, anxiety, a lot of different emotions. And so, of course, they kind of play around with her brain like it was a switchboard, trying to make her better. And of course, that honestly did not work as they thought it would. But either way, though, they still see that basically she's going through something. And so you do have the Stepford Cuckoos use their psychic ability to kind of read the mind of Miss Kingston to learn more about her, to see what's happening in her mind. And of course, when they do read her mind and realize what other problems she's going through, of course, they learn more about her past and that basically she had a very abusive father. And so with her having an abusive father, of course, now it's the Stepford Cuckoos saying, okay, our mom taught us to basically help out other women, to watch over other women. And right now, we're going to help you. Yes, you are a human. Yes, you're part of a group of people who basically hate us. But at the same time, you're still a woman and we want to help you out. And so with that being said, we're going to help you get over your abusive father situation, which of course most likely means they're going to go mess with her father. But then we jump over to Emma Frost. And right now you have Emma Frost basically getting ready to tell Sebastian Shaw this dark secret about Chantel, this particular person that apparently he had loved in the past and he wants to bring her back to life. And so, of course, you have Emma Frost telling Sebastian Shaw the Five cannot bring Chantel back to life. Now remember, when it comes to the 5, they have the ability to bring you back to life. They make you a new clone body. They download your memories into this new clone body. But you have to be dead first. If you're not dead, that means there's 2 of you running around the earth at the same time. And that right there is a problem. And so that's the reason why the 5 cannot bring her back to life, because Emma Frost says she never died. You may thought she had died in the past, but she never did. Matter of fact, she's hiding from you to get away from you. And so this is huge, because this is Sebastian Shaw kind of like, wait, you're telling me the woman I love that I thought's been dead for years is actually still alive. On top of that, you knew that she was still alive. And that's why y'all cannot bring her back to life? Where is she? Why are you guys basically hiding her from me? Now, this is the moment where you do have Emma Frost explain what happened to Chantel. And basically what you have Emma Frost say a long time ago, when the Hellfire Club was still the evil Hellfire Club, where you had mutants and humans using their money and their influences to do a lot of bad things across the world, and of course fighting against the X-Men, you had one particular member known as Chantel. And Chantel was part of the inner circle. The thing was, though, Chantel was dating Sebastian Shaw. The problem was, though, Sebastian Shaw was abusive. He used to beat her. And so Chantel wanted to escape, and so she came to Emma Frost for a way out, to basically break away from Sebastian Shaw. The thing was, though, Chantel wanted to make sure before she leaves the Hellfire Club is basically being run by mutants only, not mutants and humans. Because back in the old days, you had humans and mutants. The problem was, though, you had some humans who wanted to get rid of the mutants because they hated mutants. And so, of course, you had Chantel say, I want to get away from Sebastian Shaw, but I want to make sure that the Hellfire Club is only being run by mutants. So we have to fake my death to basically tick off Sebastian Shaw to get rid of the humans in the Hellfire Club. But on top of that, I want to make sure that basically he can't find me and believe I'm actually dead. And so in that whole time period, what happened was there was a moment where Chantel was stabbed and left to believe that she had basically died. But in reality, it was Emma Frost using her abilities to make Sebastian Shaw and the other mutant characters who were part of the Hellfire Club believe that she actually died. But of course, she did not. She just disappeared. And so Emma Frost helped her get away. Now, of course, Emma Frost just really couldn't help Chantel disappear that easily. Emma Frost needed somebody to help her help Chantel disappear easily so that Sebastian Shaw can never find her. And basically what Emma Frost did was she took Chantel to the Kingpin, of course, Wilson Fisk. And the reason why, because Wilson Fisk knows how to make sure someone can never be found. And so, of course, Chantel began to work for the Kingpin. The problem is, though, of course, working for the Kingpin, even though he helps you, you have to help him. And of course, helping him is not easy, but for Emma Frost, helping him is a whole lot better than dating Sebastian Shaw. And so basically, it's Emma Frost saying, hey, Kingpin, I have someone new for you. Her name is Chantel. She's a teleporter. She'll be great with you. Can you take her? And he said, yes. By the way, Emma Frost, don't forget, you also still owe me as well, too. So basically, I'll make sure she's okay, but you also owe me as well. But then we actually jump over to the present day, where basically you have Emma Frost looking at Sebastian Shaw saying, yes, Chantel is still alive. She's still out there. But with her faking her death, it worked out for us, because when she did fake her death, it basically showed that it made you realize we had to kick the humans out of our group and made the Hellfire Club our own mutant group. And look what happened, because it changed you. It made you better. And then it made you actually realize to help us, the rest of the mutants, begin the process of taking over the world. And so Chantel's fake death really did work out, but she's hiding from you. She's staying away from you because you were abusive. And so, of course, that is how this story ends. And so with that being said, I do hope you enjoyed today's comic book video. And if you do, please leave me a like down below and subscribe. But guys, I'll see y'all next time. Later.